It's tournament time, baby. What is going on, everybody? My name is Ethan. Welcome back to Hardcap Games with a special Hardcap Sports edition of the channel here today. People, today we are making our NCAA Men's Basketball Tournament Challenge. That's right, March Madness is upon us. It's my favorite time of year. And today we are going to be going through and making the bracket. And I have to give you guys full disclosure going into this. I'm very much a casual this year. I've been watching my Michigan State Spartans. So by proxy, I've been watching Big Ten basketball. Past that, I think I've watched a couple of conference championship games this week. So this is going to be a very casual, very much like I look at it and I go, I don't know. If I know something about the team, I'll probably mention it. But we're going to go through real fast and fill out our bracket. So, unfortunately, I do have to take this off because my green screen won't allow me to wear it. But, with that being said, if you guys are excited, make sure to leave a like down below. Subscribe if you're new. Let me know who you guys are rooting for down below. I know that I'm personally rooting for my Michigan State Spartans, but I don't have much faith in them going too far, as you guys will see in this tournament bracket right here. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. All right, so here we have our bracket. I'm so excited to do this. The first video, I'm pretty sure the first video I ever posted on YouTube was over on Hardcap Sports, which that channel is dead. I have my own reasons for it. But I'm pretty sure the first one I ever did was, or at least one of the first couple, was this exact same video. I'm super excited to go through, do it a second time. So what we're going to do is we're going to fly through this as fast as we can. I want to just cruise on through here because the end goal is to choose who the national champion is going to be. As of right now, I have no idea who it's going to be. Your guess is as good as mine as to who this is possibly going to end up being. So, Gonzaga, Georgia State, I'm pretty sure most people would say Gonzaga. Having Gonzaga lose to Georgia State would be almost unheard of. They did lose to St. Mary's a couple weeks ago, if I remember correctly. But that doesn't mean that they're vulnerable. Gonzaga is a ridiculously good squad. I'll pick them there. Boise State, Memphis. Boise State, I mean, we can look at this if we want to. Doesn't really give us much, but Boise State was a real dark horse. Get it? Because they're the Broncos. This year kind of coming in. Memphis had a rough year, if I know correctly. I mean, Amani Bates, former Michigan State recruit, went there. Had a tough season. I think I'm going to choose Boise State for this one. Once again, if I choose your team to lose, don't get mad at me. I mean, at the end of the day, there's going to be 67 upset fan bases. Only one fan base is going to be happy with what happens here. So, this is purely fun speculation. It's for entertainment purposes only. Yukon, New Mexico State. Yukon's a good squad. I don't really know much about New Mexico State. They didn't really play a lot of games. Yukon had a tough time against top 25, so I'm probably not going to take them much further than this. They lost against Nova. They beat Auburn. They lost to Providence. They lost to Michigan State early in the season. Lost to Creighton twice. Like, this is not a great squad. They beat Davidson and Washington State, though. So, I mean, I'll choose Yukon right now. They're definitely not being chosen here. The Catamounts cruised to a championship in their conference play. I mean, they beat Kentucky. They split, or Arkansas beat Kentucky. They split Tennessee. They beat Auburn. They beat LSU 3 times this year. Oh my God. And yeah, and the Catamounts, they played close with Providence and Maryland. I don't really see them going that far this year. The Catamounts are a staple in the tournament at this point, but you know, I probably won't take them very far. So here's the deal. Rutgers is going to beat Notre Dame. I'm going to say that. I went and I saw Rutgers play Michigan State. I watched that. I was at that game where they lost by 20. Rutgers is much better than their record indicates, and I think they should be higher than an 11 seed. Just saying. I think they should be like a 10 or 9. Rutgers will beat Notre Dame. And against Alabama, yeah, they're on a losing skid right now. They did beat Gonzaga a couple weeks ago. They beat Baylor. They're a good team, but I'm going to call for the upset. I'm going to go with Rutgers in this one. T-Tech versus Montana State. I really can't tell you much about Montana State other than that they lost a lot of games. I'll take T-Tech here. This is the story of the West Division right here, is this little bracket right here. Michigan State is playing Davidson. Now, Michigan State, they're my boys. they disappointed me a lot this year. There were a lot of times, especially coming down the stretch, where they looked like the worst team in the Big Ten. They made a push in the Big Ten tournament, which is what happens every year. They make a push, and they get our hopes up, and then we lose. Davidson has our starting point guard from one of our point guards from last year, like a 6-man starting point guard flex, Foster Loyer. Foster Loyer is really good, really good. The 10 seeds are prone to upsetting 7 seeds, though. I think that Michigan State figures this one out. I sure hope they do. I will choose them, and I'm going to choose Duke over Cal State Fullerton. The reason I'm saying this is the story, right, is because we have the Michigan State versus the former point guard guy, Foster Loyer. But then we also have Izzo versus Coach K in Coach K's final tournament. I'm going to say right now, Duke is going to cruise through this game. I don't see either of these teams putting up much of a fight against Duke. This is how I see it. Don't hate me for it. So I'll just choose that one. I'm going to go on. I'm going to do all the 64 and then all the 32, and then we'll go on. Baylor, Norfolk State, I mean, picking a 16 seed in 99% of times is ill-advised. North Carolina versus Marquette. North Carolina had a rough season. I mean, yeah, they lost to Tennessee. They lost Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech won the ACC this year, which shocked me at least. I don't know if it shocked the rest of you. They crushed Michigan. They split Duke, including in Duke's last game, or Coach K's last game. And what did Marquette do? They beat Nova twice. They lost to UCLA. They beat Illinois by 1. That's right. I forgot about that one. They lost to Yukon twice. They lost to Wisconsin. I don't see them winning this game. Of course, in the tournament, anything can happen. That's why it's called March Madness. Anything can happen at any point in time. Who are these teams? Is this Indiana? Ooh, Wyoming versus Indiana. So St. Mary's had an awesome season. They beat Gonzaga. But these losses here are just because they play in the WCC. They do have statistically one of the best defenses in the league. Does that matter? Who knows? I'll say Indiana wins, but then they lose to St. Mary's. UCLA Akron. I last year didn't choose UCLA to get out of the first 4. That's my mistake. I've learned from my mistakes. I'm not picking against Johnny Juzang and Jaime Jaquez anymore. The Zips are good. They're a good squad, but UCLA, I think was probably like a fringe being a 3. If they had, did they win the Pac-12? Who won the Pac-12? I didn't watch this game. Okay, they lost. Texas VTech. Now, I think that VTech being an 11 seed is kind of rude considering they won the ACC, but it is what it is, right? Texas is ridiculous. They're a ridiculously good squad, so I'll choose Texas. I think VTech has a lot of heart, and I think they could definitely muscle their way to a win here. I always feel bad when I make these brackets because I feel like I always just pick the higher seed because why wouldn't you? But I feel like no, we'll go Virginia Tech. They're fired up. They're going into here. They haven't won the ACC, I think, ever. They're making the tournament, and I think that they have a good chance. I mean, they beat Duke, right? They can beat Duke. They can beat Texas. So, not to say that Texas is bad, but I'm just saying that Duke is one of the better schools. Purdue, Yale, I'll just go Purdue. Jaden Ivey is crazy. He's going to be a problem when he gets to NBA. I'm saying that right now. I see a lot of John Morant style play in Jaden Ivey. I don't know if other people see that, if you have a better comparison. But watching him play against Michigan State the other day, it was like we were playing against John Morant. State couldn't do anything. This one's interesting because I know nothing about either one of them, so I'm going to say San Francisco. And finally over here we have Kentucky versus St. Pete's. And I don't think that's too much of a controversial pick to take Kentucky here. All right, now on this side of the bracket, we have Wright State versus Bryant, but it doesn't matter because they're facing Arizona. And if I had to guess, Arizona's probably going to win it all. Seton Hall TCU, this is fascinating. So Seton Hall, I said it last year, Seton Hall is that one team that every time I pick against them in the tournament, they end up going to the Sweet 16. And I'm like, all right, fine. So I end up picking them. And then the years that I pick them, they don't do anything at all. They lose first round. Now, as an 8 seed, this year, this is tough. TCU played a tough schedule. They're a great defense. So Seton Hall's a tough one to pick. Because this game against TCU really could go either way. It's an 8-9 game. 8-9 games can always go either way. This team's front court has to hold up for them. And TCU seems like they're really good out on the perimeter. And they have really good guards. I could go either way on this. I'm going to choose TCU. And I'm hoping I'm not proven wrong. Houston UAB, I mean, every time I pick against Houston, they do really well. They were in the Final Four last year. I don't really see the Blazers being that great of a squad to put up that remarkable of a fight. So I'll go with Houston. Now, Illinois is ridiculous as well. But Illinois had a pretty good resume coming into this, right? I mean, they lost in the Big Ten tournament, but they were one of the better squads all year. They finished ranked, I believe, in the top 10. If they didn't, they were just outside top 10. It's really hard to choose Chattanooga. They lost to Murray State. They beat VCU by 2. They lost to Belmont. I don't really see that going on. I mean, they won the Southern Conference, so that's cool. They might be tough, but I think Kofi Cockburn is just too good. That's really all I'm really saying about it. I think Kofi Cockburn is just too good. Colorado State, Michigan. Personally, I think Michigan's ranked a little bit too high, and that's not just me as a biased Michigan State fan, although there's probably a little bit bias in it, but I think that Michigan is not as good of a squad as an 11 seed would lead them to believe. I think that Hunter Dickinson is a very good player, but I think that the issues surrounding the team are not surmountable for them. I don't think that they can really come out of here with a win. I'll choose Colorado State because I don't think that Michigan will be able to piece it together. I know nothing about Colorado State otherwise. The Longwood Lancers. I have never heard of this school. I had a video in the works for a while where I was trying to see, like, if you were to make a certain amount of divisions, like re-bracket the entirety of NCAA basketball into 8 conferences, but have like a relegation system, what would it look like? I don't remember ever doing Longwood. I worked on that project for a long time. I don't remember what Longwood is. They lost to Iowa by 33, but they won 19 of 20 games. Oh, wow. Their first trip to the NCAA tournament, with their last loss being before Christmas. Whew. All right, interesting. They're a super efficient shooting team, a little below average defensively. And this is a squad that relies on 3-point shooting. Sorry, Lancers, I'm not gonna be able to pick you here. I'm gonna choose Loyola Chicago because every time I pick against Loyola Chicago, I lose. Every time, never fails. In Sister Jean, we trust. Loyola Chicago. Moving on. In all due respect to Ohio State, Ohio State's great. EJ Liddell is phenomenal. They're a great squad. Who had a really unfortunate loss at the end of the season. But yeah, they need EJ Liddell to have a big game for them to win. For them to really move far, and he needs to do that multiple days in a row, because on a couple of the Big Ten teams, I can probably name 2 or 3 players. But Ohio State, I can't really name more than EJ Liddell. He's like kind of just their guy. And sometimes it helps having a guy, but you need to be able to. I'm not even going to talk about this one. You need to be able to have multiple guys you can lean on if you're being shut down for some reason. And coming on finally over here. Texas Southern versus, I don't even know what AMCC is. Well, Kansas. Okay, San Diego State Creighton. I feel really confident picking Creighton. San Diego State's always had a really good defense, but it's going to be a battle of the bigs. And San Diego State has issues offensively, and Creighton's really good defensively, so I will choose Creighton. I'm going to choose Iowa. It's really hard not to choose Iowa. I think Iowa has a chance to even make the Elite Eight, probably. They're just that good of a squad. I know that they got knocked out of the tournament, but every year a 12 beats a 5. But I don't think it's going to be this one. Who would that be? If a 12 were to beat a 5, it'd be Indiana, probably. A 12 beating a 5. 12 beating a 5. Yeah, it'd probably be Indiana. If Indiana got past, they'd probably beat St. Mary's. Yeah, Indiana would do that. If they got past, they'll beat St. Mary's. We'll go with that. San Diego State versus Providence. San Diego State's a pretty good squad. 21 straight wins. They're super accurate shooting the 3 ball. Undefeated when winning at the half. Lackluster defense. Providence had a couple of bad losses coming down the stretch, didn't they? Am I remembering that correctly? They had like a couple of really bad losses in the last couple of games. That it was like, you have to win this. They did end up winning the Big East, but like in the regular season, they had issues. I'm gonna call the upset. Calling the upset. I'm sorry, Providence. I'm sorry, but San Diego State, or not San Diego, South Dakota State. See, I don't even know which team I'm talking about. I'll choose Iowa State. No, I know nothing about these two squads. I'll choose Iowa State, though. I like an upset. Wisconsin's a tough team. It's really hard to beat Wisconsin. You can do it, obviously, but it's tough to do. Isaiah Mobley or that wild Miami offense? This is tough. I think I'll probably choose Miami for absolutely zero reason. I mean, Isaiah Mobley is crazy. And the Canes went on a pretty good streak. I mean, yeah, they play tough. Miami's a tough squad. They play real tough. I'll choose them over UFC for no real reason. And I'll choose Auburn over Jacksonville State. I don't know much about these squads here to feel confident in choosing a 2-seed upset this year. Did I pick any 3-seed upsets? There's always a 3-seed upset. If there was a 3-seed upset, who would that 3-seed upset be? Probably Yale. An Ivy or an Ivy. It'd be either Yale or Colgate. Ooh, they can shoot from 3. They shoot 40% from 3 this year? That's crazy. As a team? That's phenomenal. You know what? I'll be bold. I'll be super bold. I'm sorry, Wisconsin fans, but if Colgate can shoot the 3, Wisconsin had a lot, and Michigan State had a lot of problems shooting the 3 in the game that they played. Wisconsin's typically pretty decent from 3, but if Colgate's one of the best 3-point shooting teams, that could cause problems. I don't know. All right, so now my head's out of the way, so I don't have to move my camera again, but Gonzaga, Boise State. Did these teams play each other this year? They did not. It's really hard to not just pick Gonzaga, right? Like, that's the easy answer. It's Gonzaga. But if Boise State is just that good, they're streaky from 3-point land. Yeah, no, I'm just gonna go Gonzaga. I think I'll call it right now. This will be a really hard fought and closer game than we're used to seeing Gonzaga play. But I think that Gonzaga will still walk out of here. Arkansas, Yukon. The Yukon has issues. They certainly have issues. I'll probably just take Arkansas here. Rutgers, Texas Tech. I was seeing someone say earlier that Texas Tech had a bunch of like really random and bad losses, but their defense is just overpoweringly good. I'm not certain that Geo Baker and Ron Harper can overcome Texas Tech, if you know what I mean, right? So I'll just go Texas Tech. Now we got a 1, 2, 3, 4, which I hate having 1, 2, 3, 4s in tournaments because it feels like super just like, oh yeah, it's easy. But I'm just gonna go with it here. That's a good game. I don't know what I'm going to watch that game. If that's the game, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to make sure I watch it. I'm going to go North Carolina. I hate picking Blue Bloods. I hate doing it. I don't like doing it, but UNC could pull off the upset. Baylor's remarkable squad. They're remarkable. But Jonathan Tchamwa is out for the season, as this says right here. I think that they're coming in hot off the Coach K win, even though they didn't win they lost the ACC tournament. I think that they have something to prove right now. Their front court is crazy. Yeah. I think that this will be a buzzer beater game for either one of them. Wyoming versus, I chose Indiana here. Wyoming, Indiana, or UCLA. I don't think UCLA will fall to Indiana. I really don't. Yeah. I think they're just too good of a squad. VTech Purdue, interesting. Let me compare the two of them. And obviously these stats don't mean anything, right? Purdue is just really good. Yeah, I mean, they had to go really hot because they lost 6 of their first 8 in conference play. But Tavion Williams, Jaden Ivey, Zach Edey, Stefanovic. Their defense is not great, though. Their defense isn't great, though. Statistically, Purdue's defense is not great. Could we see another upset? I think we possibly could. I think that the Eastern Division could be kind of crazy. Kentucky. Over here, Arizona. I'm not going to pick against Arizona at this point. Kofi Cockburn or Houston. Illinois played a lot of top 25 teams. Houston did not. But Illinois also split those top 25s. They lost to Arizona. They lost to Purdue twice. They lost to Ohio State. Kofi Cockburn's a finalist for the Wooden Award. After missing the first 3 games of the season, I'm just going to pick Illinois. Colorado State, Tennessee. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it from my chest. Colorado State will beat Tennessee, and Villanova will fall to Loyola Chicago. Saying it right now. And I say that with absolutely zero confidence. Just be aware. Nothing I'm saying right now has any confidence said behind it. It's just me thinking. So, Kansas Creighton. It's an interesting battle. This is a team that beat Yukon. They split Providence. They beat Nova. They lost twice to Seton Hall. They lost to Colorado State. It's really hard not to pick Kansas as well. Kansas is just so good. They're so good. Ugh. I hate them for it. Sdsu versus Iowa. I mean, we said SDSU is one of the best shooting teams in the league, right? But their defense is vulnerable. Yeah. I'll just go Iowa for this one. And this is the bold one, right? Iowa State, Colgate. I'll give it to Iowa State. And I'll give this to Auburn. Okay. Moving on. Sweet 16. I'm doing it. I'm going to knock out Gonzaga. And I'll do that. Over here. That. I think Loyola Chicago's having another fantasy run. I really think they are. If they drop to Ohio State, it's Nova here. But if they beat Ohio State, they're in the Elite Eight, which I think is the craziest thing. But I'm going to do it. I think, I don't know. I just have a hunch that Arkansas can beat Gonzaga and T-Tech can beat Duke, and Coach K will walk off in the Sweet 16, and we'll not hear from him anymore. This is a game, though. UCLA. Kentucky. Auburn. Iowa. Remember, no confidence in these picks. There is no confidence here. Coming back up, Arizona will beat Loyola Chicago. That's where Loyola's fun ends. They will face, on the other side, will be Arkansas. Arkansas was a really good squad. They were in the top 20. They were in like the top 10 for a long time this season if they didn't finish there. This game's going to be awesome. Kentucky and Iowa. Kentucky and Iowa with no confidence. And getting down here, Arkansas versus Kentucky is an interesting matchup. Now we're going to look at matchups again. The 4 seeds often win these games. When Kentucky beat North Carolina in 2011. Is Arkansas really the team? Are they the squad to knock off Calipari? I think so. I think Arkansas could do it. I think it's going to be Arkansas, Arizona. I think that Arizona is just crazy good. I feel like every year Arizona gets a little overhyped. Right? Like, it feels like every year they're in the top 25, but then, like, they get to the tournament, they don't do much. Iowa's just... Iowa's so hot. 1 seeds very rarely lose to 8 seeds or to 5 seeds. 9 of 10 meetings over the last couple. Auburn over UNC was the only one in the Sweet 16. I'm not gonna pick against Arizona, but here, JD Notae, free throws. That's important, especially if you have such a big front court. Going up against a team that gets a lot of free throws actually matches up pretty well against a front court team. You can just attack them. You just attack. And if you get those front court guys in foul trouble early, you have a good chance of winning the game. So I guess Arkansas has a good chance of winning. Right? Is that the chance? Is that what we're calling it? I think that's appropriate, right? I mean, they bested them in, except for BPI, and well, maybe not. I don't know. I feel like Arkansas can get it done. We're gonna call it as Arkansas. I'm gonna call it a 76 to 71. 76-71 Arkansas. So there we have it. There is our champion right there. So, I know it may not be the thing that everyone's going for, and it's probably not what I was expecting going into this. I probably would have had, if you asked me, like, who at the very beginning do you have winning it all, I probably would have said, I don't know, probably Illinois. I don't know, probably Duke. But, you know, as you go along throughout the tournament, you find that some matchups are more favorable than others, and your brain tells you one thing. So, if you guys did enjoy, make sure to leave a like down below, subscribe if you're new. Once again, let me know who you guys are rooting for. Let's keep it nice and PG in the comments. There's a reason I don't do sports content anymore, for the most part, and it's because of that. But yeah, just let me know who you have winning it all down below. And again, no one has ever had a perfect bracket ever. The odds of you getting a perfect bracket are 1 in 5 quintillion. So of course, nothing is going to be correct out of here. In fact, if I got out of here with a 70% win rate in the first round, I'd be shocked. So, that being said, thank you so much for watching, everybody. Hope you guys did enjoy, and I will see you in the next episode. Peace.